Hi, my name is Lara. Welcome to my channel, Inner Goddess Guidance. I'm laughing because I was about 10 minutes into the video and my cat jumped up on my keyboard and I lost my entire video. But it's okay. These things happen. So welcome to my channel, Inner Goddess Guidance, and thank you so much to all of you who are returning, and if you are new and trying this out for the first time, thank you for showing up and spending some time with me today. So quick update, I have been not doing videos for a couple of weeks, and the reason why is that I went through a really hard time. It was Spirit decided to serve me up sort of a series of personal challenges, and I needed to take care of things for myself, and that meant I wasn't able to give anything more. And so I did learn a lot, and that's what happens when we go through change. It really made me realize how, even though I'm somebody who thinks that I embrace change and am open to change and go with the flow and all that stuff, and I do, you know, we all resist the big changes because it destabilizes us. And when we feel out of balance, in teaching and in education theory, we call it disequilibration. When you feel that disequilibration, it's not comfortable, and it takes a while to gain your footing again. And when you do, that's when you can move forward again, right? You gain your new balance and you move forward. So I've been going through some of that, but I did learn a lot. And it's like the hero's journey. You know, we're all the heroes of our own story. We're all on the hero's journey. Life is a series, I think, of small chapters within a bigger story, and we are the hero of that story. And I was realizing that it was like birth a little bit. You know, I was thinking about how moms, when they're pregnant and giving birth, get ready to give birth, you know, they know what they're in for, right? They're prepared, take classes, learn breathing techniques, and even with all of that preparation, it's still a huge trial. It's difficult. It's not easy. Well, I think some people in their second or third child, I've heard it can be pretty easy, but no matter what, if you ask me, it's a bit traumatic. But for the baby, imagine the baby's never known anything else other than mother's womb. And inside there, most of the time, they're perfectly taken care of. All their needs are met. They're comfortable in terms of temperature, and they get to sleep when they want. They're getting their nourishment. And then there's this call, this impulse, this something that happens, and they must go forward. They must emerge. And yet, doing that is tough on them too. It takes a lot of work. If you've ever seen babies when they first come out, sometimes their heads are all mushed up and stuff because they're going through a small opening. They've got to really fight to do that. It's not easy. And that's sort of what it was like for me. You know, I got this push. I had to go. There was no staying in whatever spot of stability I had achieved. I had to move forward and go through that change because there is no other option, really. And so I did. And I think that I'm better for it. We all hope we are, right? And I learned some things that I want to share with you. I definitely gained some important insights. And I want you to think about, or you might think about how Spirit doesn't just serve us like good things and on our side and giving us signs and synchronicities and about hanging in there and having hope and guiding us on our highest and best for our highest and best good, but also serves us up the right challenges that we need when we need them. And that's because if that doesn't happen, we will never stretch ourselves beyond what we already know. We really won't. I mean, I love to learn things intellectually, right? Like read books and read articles and meet new people and travel to new places. But the internal changes, man, those are hard and kind of scary. It doesn't feel good to be out of balance and to not know what's happening next. And even if you have all the faith in the world, that is just an uncomfortable process. Much like I think birth, although this beautiful, beautiful moment in time or experience, this amazing thing, is really hard for both baby and mom, right? But we go through those things because it's worth it in the end. So I did gain a lot of thoughts, and I'm just trying to figure out which one I really want to share with you. I want to start today with, I'm not, to be honest, terribly religious. I was when I was younger, even thought about being a minister, even gave a sermon once. But in terms of biblical knowledge, I compared to most people, or compared to people who go to church a lot, I don't have a lot. But everybody is familiar with, I think, the 1 Corinthians 13, 4-7. And that just kept coming to me over the past week or so. And there's a lot of wisdom in it. And it's something worth meditating on, as I have been. So I want to share it with you. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. For me, and likely for many of you, this journey, whether you want to frame it in a twin flame journey, and I very much think that I'm a divine feminine on the twin flame path. It becomes clearer to me all the time. Even though one of the things that happened in the last 2 weeks was a lot of questioning and looking at that, and how does the concept of twin flame, does the idea serve me or not? And I really was looking at that for myself. But I recognize that for me, it explains so much in my life and predates my experience with the person I consider my twin. It started my whole life. I was a little love, like a lot of you, very sensitive and empathic and caring about people, and just wanted, I used to say, I just want to get paid to love people. Can I do that? Can I just get paid to love people? Because that's so easy for me, really. It wasn't until I became a mother, though, that love, the concept of love, really deepened for me. And the reason why is because suddenly I felt all that is encapsulated in this Corinthians 13, 4-7. I could be more patient than I ever knew possible, and I needed it with my son, and more kind. And even though I sometimes brag about my son because he's pretty awesome, what I recognized is that everybody's child is beautifully unique and wonderful. And I felt more of a connection with other mothers and actually everybody on the planet. I noticed after I had my son that every single ambulance or siren that I heard impacted me very differently than it had before. Because every single one was a parent or a child. That's the way I looked at it. Whose child might be hurt? Whose parent might be hurt? What child might be missing their parent or hurt because their parent is in crisis, or vice versa? It changed the way I understood my capacity to be compassionate. Wow, it just expanded. The other thing is that I this part where it says it does not dishonor others, it is not self-seeking. The not dishonor others, I would never think, even if I criticized my son's behavior and I corrected my son's behavior, I wouldn't think to ever sort of trash talk my son. I just wouldn't, because I love him. So why would I do that? And it's not self-seeking. I know how many times that I have the parents do, all parents do, really put their children first, and without ever telling them, like, you should be really happy that I'm putting you first. No, we just do it. We just do it. And when it comes to the easily angered and keeps no record of wrongs, I can have my son's 17 now, so we can have arguments, and we have had arguments, and he has said some very hurtful things. But I always know that not loving him is not an option. Not loving him is never in question. And so I might be angry for a minute, but I'm not keeping score, and I don't hold it against him, because I know that to do that would be hurtful and it wouldn't be helpful to our relationship. And so we move on. Sometimes in retrospect, we might joke about, when he went through a certain phase or whatever, but it's done with love and lightness and laughter. And so forgiveness comes very easily when you love like that. It says, love does not delight in evil, but always rejoices with truth. And I think sometimes love means being brave in a way, to be vulnerable and to be open and to be truthful, and to be willing to hear the truth from another that you love in that way. And then it says it always trusts, it always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. So I was thinking the other day about how, if my son suddenly said to me, Mom, I'm done with you. I can't stand you. I'm leaving this house and I'm never coming back, and I don't want you to ever talk to me again. I can't imagine that he'd ever do that. But if he did, that would be really painful to go through. I would think about my son every day, but I would let him go, because to try to fight it would be silly. I mean, part of loving somebody is loving their truth. Part of loving somebody is loving them enough to support them in what they wish and desire, right? That is love that perseveres. So even if my son were gone, even if some tragedy befell him, even if he did some great horrible thing, my love for him would not be changed. And the whole reason why I bring my son into the story and talk about that kind of love is that until I had my son, I didn't understand that kind of unconditional love. I do think that's the kind of unconditional love that Spirit has for all of us. I also think that when we awaken, when those, it depends on how you want to frame twin flame theory. Some people say everybody has a twin flame. Some people say there's only 144,000 of them. I don't know what the truth is, but I do know this. Until I met that person, I did not understand that I could feel that way for anyone other than my son. That I could do all the things about honoring and walking away and loving anyway and allowing the truth and persevering and not holding a grudge, not holding anger in my heart, always being willing to be open. So that's a great gift. It is an amazing gift that we've been given. And to me, it doesn't matter anymore. I just want to be thankful for having had that opportunity. So instead of focusing on separation or relationship, because I think that one of the mistakes we sometimes make is believing that love means relationship. But you can have all the unconditional love in the world and still have a very dysfunctional relationship. It's like the potential exists, but if you don't have the behaviors to match it and you're not healed, then you can't live up to that. You can't manifest anything beyond what you have the skills to do. And the skills that we have are largely dependent upon our childhood and our other experiences in life, whatever we've been through, maybe even past lives, right? It's all of that. And so it's sort of like awakening, especially being awakened by a twin and having tasted or seen or experienced that kind of unconditionality, that gives you the motivation. It's supposed to give you the motivation to do the hard work to heal. It's supposed to spark you to heal so that you are willing to continue forward no matter what. Even if you don't have a relationship in quote unquote 3D, right? Like tangible. So I was thinking about how when I go through great times on this, sometimes it takes a few days to adjust to that new recognition, my new skin kind of, I almost feel like I have shed a skin or gone through a metamorphosis. And as I'm kind of learning my new behaviors, my new ways, sometimes I want to launch off on the next thing. Okay, well, now what? Now what's the next thing I have to do? Like tasks before me, as if I'm remodeling my house and I got to do the next action, the next project on the list, without taking time to really savor the work that I've been doing or the work that's been done. So I started my self-healing journey before I awakened, a year before I awakened, in earnest, really looking at energy healing and healing myself and thoughts and emotions and the impacts of those on life, the way we see and interact with the world. And so now it's been about 2 years. And I was thinking about how in society, we often will recognize when somebody's done something amazing. You run a marathon, you get a medal. You get straight A's in school. You're part of the honor society, or you get your special certificate, or people who do great work in the world get Nobel Prizes. We seek to get validation and recognition for work that we've done well. But a lot of times the work that we're doing here, well, it's solitary work. It's often solitary work, and it's not tangible. Like, you can't see it the way you could if you were working in your yard or working on your house. You can't touch it in the same way, and oftentimes the change is kind of incremental and slow. And so if you don't turn around and kind of look back at the past and say, how have I changed and how have I grown over the past, let's say, 6 months or a year or 2 years, if you don't take time to really reflect on that, you don't get the opportunity to really savor your own victories. And I think it's really important that we do. So I had been thinking about that. And I'd been thinking about that when one of the members of the Facebook group posted one of her oracle cards. We're creating oracle cards, for those of you who don't know. And if you'd like to join the group, just ask. It's awesome. She posted one of her cards and she shared some of her healing. And it was deep and it was profound, and it was tender. It was brave. And it definitely resonated with people in the group, because a lot of women have gone through trauma around sexuality, around experiences with sex, or, and as we're finding with the Me Too movement and stuff. And a lot of people, I think, we feel like, well, that is something to be sort of like, that's our scar, that's our wounding, that's our victimization. But when you do the work to heal, I don't think it has to be anymore. I think it becomes your portal to compassion and true power, understanding and insight, the capacity to help others heal too through that. And it's very brave, and I want to give somebody a medal. And in that group, when she posted it, I was like, 1 in 5 women go through that. That's reported. Numbers are probably higher. And we don't always process through that. We take the experience, we tuck it in a little drawer or tuck it into a place in our bodies, somewhere, and it stays there until it emerges, sometimes in surprising moments. I'm not expecting it to. And once you've healed that, I think you deserve something special. So I kind of posted this diamond, and I said, you made this diamond. This is your diamond. So don't think of it as your wound anymore. You've transformed it, transmuted it through hard work. You've cut it, polished it, and now you can place it in your crown. You don't have to think of that as your wound anymore. And that led me to think about other ways that we can acknowledge ourselves when we do healing, something tangible. So I was thinking about pearls and pearls of wisdom, and ways that we recognize things. A lot of people, if you've seen the bracelets, that'll have one word on them. This is my word. The group's called myintent.org. Or people, when they are supporting breast cancer or something, they might wear a bracelet, right, to show that they do. And a lot of people use tattoos that way. I know somebody that had a couple of suicide attempts, and she turned her scars into tattoos to help her heal. get through what had led her to that dark place, to do that and to work through it, which I thought was a beautiful way to deal with those scars, so that when she looked down, she wasn't seeing her self-harm anymore. She was seeing the victory of working through that time. So that led me to think about what we could do, or you could do for yourself. And I was thought about charms and symbols and things. Well, what would be a symbol? To me, it's sort of like I'm constantly doing little things, but there are times like the past 2 weeks when I did something pretty significant, and I want to like acknowledge that and go, yeah, I know what I did. I don't have to tell everybody else about it, although I'm talking to you guys. So I guess I am telling everybody else. But you know, mostly we don't. Except for me in this moment. And I'd encourage you to think about, so one thing you could do is you could take yourself to a bead shop. You could use gems. You could actually look into what gem might be a good symbol or healing for that aspect of what you were healing or working with. You're working with something in your heart chakra. You might pick a rose quartz, or I'm imagining jade, since it's green, is probably heart chakra too. So you could do some work like that. I wanted something that could represent many different things, and I was sort of thinking it would be really beautiful to go to the bead shop every time and just make sort of a little event out of going and picking a new bead or charm or whatever. And I wanted something that would grow over time. So I was thinking about pearls of wisdom, and how pearls are formed out of discomfort in the pearl, something that's foreign that gets lodged in there, much like a trauma in our life. You know, we didn't ask for it to come into our life, but it happened to us. And over time and working with it, can we transform that pain or that experience into something that can serve us, instead of constantly wound us over and over again, which takes a lot of work and a lot of bravery, if you ask me. So I went to the bead store and I bought 11 strands of pearls, thinking that was a pretty cool number, and different colors, they're different sizes. And then through experimenting, I ended up coming home and making some charms. And I made myself a little necklace. Actually, it's on a clasp so that I can put it on whatever I want. So I made charms where this one has 2 pearls, this one has 2 pearls. And then I bought these little charms. This one of them says trust, and the other is a key. And I was thinking, you know, I'm learning to trust myself. I'm learning to trust life and trust this journey. And I put the key there to remind myself that I hold the key, that my mindset is the key, that that I have what I need to unlock the secrets, to unlock my healing, myself. Okay, so that's what I did, and I decided to play around with another one, which I put on a different chain, and then I went through some things I already had. And this one says courage, and again 2 little charms, and then one of these little prayer boxes. It's in the shape of a heart. And then I bought a bunch of different charms. I bought so many different charms. Little owls, little Buddha head, the Hamsa hand, something that says play, a moon, heart, a clock for divine timing, a little angel, a key. So I bought all these different ones. Oh, there's a mermaid bird. And put them into a set. And if you're not somebody who wants to go, you know, on this journey for yourself in terms of going to the bead store and picking out a bead and stuff, you can now order these through me. And what you will get is you will get one of 3 kit, it will come with a piece of this kind of silk thread. And then as you heal something, you can choose which charm represents that for you. And the symbolism should be yours. I was going to write down all the meanings. I was going to come up with them all. And then I went, wait a minute. This is about their journey. Let them make the meaning. You can. That's the important thing, is that you know what it means. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. So let it be what you think it is. So, and then you just start in the center, and you'd put your first bead on. So I put a pearl, a white pearl. And I started there, and you could just wear it with the white pearl for a while. It'd be a bit big, but, you know, just wear it with the white pearl. And then as you heal different things, you just keep knotting a new one on there. So I just put them tied knots in the cord. Mine's in blue cord right here. So I made this one as a prototype. That's how it might turn out. If you wanted this particular kit, it would come with 5 pearls of wisdom and 6 charms. You could also order just the pearls of wisdom. So I did a different one because I wanted you to see different options, because I think creativity is so important. And making your own thing and making it the way you want. Necklace, bracelet, a little decoration to hang on your rearview mirror, or keychain for your keys. Whatever you want to do with it. So this one is the 11 pearls of wisdom. And then I added 2 charms. One is the key, for holding the key. I hold the key myself. And one was an angel, because I need to remember always that Spirit's with me. My guidance team is with me, guiding me toward my highest and best good. I really believe that. So I haven't yet put these together in kits, because I didn't know, you know, we'll just see what the response is. But you could get from me something that you could use as a charm bracelet. And then I just put a lobster, not a lobster claw, these kind of toggle enclosure on it, with different types of chains. And so if you're interested in that, I'm setting up an Etsy shop, but I went to start doing that today and couldn't get all the way through doing it. There was a glitch and I forgot why, but I have to finish that tomorrow. But if you're interested, for now, you can just reach out to innergoddessguidance@gmail.com. Again, innergoddessguidance@gmail.com. It's in the description box. And inquire. And the price right now, I'm trying to price it out because PayPal takes a cut, and I have to add up what all the little portions are, but I'm kind of trying to do it under $30. So I was like 25 or 29. And that would include shipping anywhere in the US anyway. I'd have to find out what it would cost to ship internationally. But honestly, if you're international, then you might just find that you're best off to go to your local bead store and see what you've got, although I'd be more than happy to send it to you. So that is what I wanted to share with you today. The thoughts about unconditional love, and how very blessed we are, really, to have experienced this. And I know sometimes it's hard, because it's a little bit like, I think it's a little bit like, and I've never tried heroin, but I imagine when you get a taste of heroin, and then you're like, wow, that was awesome, I want more. Which is unhealthy, obviously, but there's an addictive quality to tasting what I consider divine love, or experiencing divine love, that once you've experienced that, it's hard to go back to just regular life. It's not the same anymore. And so it's like losing your appetite. Well, I don't want to eat regular food. I want gourmet. That's all I want. But remember that we're not ready to have that. all the time. And so, and we may never be. And I honestly, I am not going to let the story be rewritten into something that's not beautiful, because it doesn't matter the way anybody else sees your journey. What matters is the way you see your journey. It's what you know, and you know what it is. So I was thinking about how I wish I had a raw diamond. I don't have a raw diamond. But let's just pretend. Like if I held this out in my hand to someone and I said, "This is a beautiful diamond." It's raw rose quartz, but let's pretend it was a raw diamond. And they said, "No, it's not. It's a rock. It's worthless. It's nothing." I said, "No. You don't know. This is a diamond." It wouldn't change what it is. What it is still what it is. The perception of the two people is different. Well, which perception do I want? Quite frankly, I want the good one. I choose belief and I choose love, and that's what I choose. And it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks, does it? So, two things today. Just think about rewarding yourself or acknowledging yourself, some sort of tangible way for you to say, yeah, I've been working hard and I did well. And some kind of little token. It doesn't have to be huge. Although if you have money and you want to buy a diamond ring, do it. That'd be cool. Buy me one too. But you know, I thought keeping it all together was kind of cool. And so, you know, to have a bracelet that's my pearls of wisdom, that I know what those mean. I know what I did to earn them. And then it's not just a nice bracelet, it's more than that to me. And shoes, kind of more attractive than those big old rubber band things people wear for the top. I think it's a little more attractive. Anyway, that's my thought for the day. Oh yeah, this was the charm one. This is the one you actually tie on. And you know, you could actually go beyond the 11. I just thought 11 was a cool number, obviously. But we could, you know, you could just make more and tie more on and use different bracelets. Anyway, if you're a bracelet person, and if you're not, you know, you can do something like the necklaces that I did here. I don't know what I put the other one. Anyway, oh, here's the other one. So that's it for today. Thanks for hanging out with me. I know that was kind of long and involved, but I have to get to a cross-country pre-meet dinner for my son. So I have lasagna to take out of the oven, and then I have to run it up to the school. So tomorrow, though, I will absolutely be back. I will absolutely draw cards, and it's good to be back. And thank you to everybody who reached out to me and asked me how I was doing. I was doing okay. I'm just going through the birthing process. Like the baby was. Maybe kind of like the mom too. I don't know. Anyway, you guys have a great day. Thank you. Bye.